States has 53,441 reported cases of coronavirus and 690 reported deaths from coronavirus. But there is good news tonight. The President of the United States is not in charge. Now, that would be bad news in a pandemic if the President were anyone other than Donald Trump. So the good news is that the worst, most corrupt president in history is not in charge of what he referred to today as opening up the country.
They don't give a shit.
So I think Easter Sunday, and you'll have packed churches all over our country.
If that happened on Easter Sunday just 19 days from now, then in May, you would have millions of dead people all over the country. Millions.
You're going to lose more people
Millions
by putting
of dead.
a country into a massive recession
Millions
or
of
depression. You're going to lose people. You're going to
Millions
have
of dead.
suicides by the thousands.
Millions of
Just
dead. Let that sink.
Pound stimulus package, many industries at risk. Aerospace, travel companies, entertainment, events, retail outlets, the list goes on and on and on. David, there's an ancient Chinese expression that says, may you live in interesting times. Some say it's a curse. What do you see in the world? What do you
Millions of dead. Worst, most corrupt president in history is not in charge of what worst, most corrupt. Millions of dead. And Donald Trump wants you in a packed church in America on Easter Sunday. The Pope doesn't want you to die by going to church.
They don't give a shit.
Want you to die by going to church.
A shit.
Packed churches all over our country.
Millions of dead.
Packed churches all over our country. Packed churches all over our
most
country.
corrupt president in history is not in charge of what.
They don't give a shit.
Millions of dead.
Suicides by the thousands.
What happens to those people whose businesses collapse? What happens to all those people who were working for those businesses? What happens to them? They fall into the bottom of the Hunger Games society. And what we're seeing now, every day, is this Hunger Games society coming closer and closer and closer because of what's being done in the name of protecting the people. They're having to buy shite food, they can't have nutrients, and at the same time, they're breathing in shit air, drinking toxic water and other drinks, and this system has allowed that to happen, has allowed corporations to do that, and now, having done all that, that's devastated the lives and the immune systems of old people, we are being asked to believe that the system cares about the health of the elderly. It doesn't.
Worst, most corrupt president in history is not. And Donald Trump wants you in a packed church in America on Easter Sunday. The Pope doesn't want you to die by going to church. Want you to die by going to church.
Packed churches all over our country.
Millions of dead.
Packed churches all over our country. Packed churches all over our
most
country.
corrupt president in history is not in charge of what.
Shit. I'm not talking about the nurses. I'm not talking about the doctors. I'm talking about that at the core which is driving it. They don't give a shit about the elderly. The elderly are an excuse to impose the very society that I'm talking about. Now, if you look at when these things happen, and great Orwellian, draconian things are put in place, oh, we've got to do this because of the problem. Well, the problem eventually passes. This virus will eventually flatten out. But what you see every time, 9/11's a classic, they'll roll back some of it, but not nearly roll back to where it was before. The whole thing's moved on, closer to the Hunger Games society.